Hey everyone. Almost started the video by saying Happy New Year because for some reason it feels like this is the first time I'm saying hello in the new year, but actually it's not. Anyway, I rambled a little bit. Today I uploaded a short video about like the starting point, and I wanted to kind of elaborate on that and talk about that topic of at a little bit more detail. Okay. So what's the motivation behind this? I recently started playing this video game called The Bazaar. And so many people think when you become a practitioner and when you remove yourself from suffering and you're on the like holy spiritual path or whatever, you like don't play games or anything and you strictly do, I don't know, boring things. That's partly true. I do a lot of boring things. I do a lot of challenging things, but it doesn't mean that like I can't play games. And actually, um, since I started practicing Buddhism, I find that my gaming experience also actually teaches me a lot about life. And so, the history behind this game called the Bazaar is it's really like the first reflection about it is that it's a perfect demonstration of how in this day and age we can't really get by with one good genre. So what I mean by that is a lot of the really good games these days, yes, some of them are just like very true to the genre of the game that it's in. So for example, if you have a first person shooter game and the game is perfectly executed, it has really nice mechanics, graphics, and such, then it can maybe succeed as a first-person shooter game. But these days, everybody already knows which first-person shooter games are like. So what they do is they start mixing in different elements of different genres of games and then combine it into one, right? So this isn't just a trend in games. Overall, wherever you see like the leading research that moves the world forward is all interdisciplinary now. It's not just about one domain. All the games are now just about like different genres, combining different genres. And the Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series last year, and one of the pitchers who were really celebrated is I forgot his name. Let me quickly bring up his name. Yamamoto Yoshinobu. So he is a Japanese pitcher, but the peculiar point about him is that he doesn't train the traditional way. He doesn't train the traditional like pitching, shoulder recovery, and things like that. He does a lot of like bridges, and he does a lot of javelin throws because he is introducing different mechanics from different sports to aid him in his baseball playing, right? And so he has a lot of longevity. He uses different parts of the body to throw with more efficiency, and that's why he's able to go like game after game after game without really stressing his shoulders and such. So interdisciplinary is sort of where things are at right now. And the bazaar is interdisciplinary in terms of like it's a auto battler, which means that you set up a bunch of little characters and things to fight for you. You don't do the manual fighting. You just watch the two sides automatically play with each other, and that's the basic premise on the genre. And when it was first introduced, it was really popular. And at that time, the game was really simple. But now it's gotten to a point where it's a little bit different. Like it combines elements from roguelike games, which means there's a lot of random things. Like you can pick your items and characters from a pool of random things. And then inside those random items, you have different rarities, and then you have different enchantments and such. So those elements are from like the roguelike genre. But also, it's about building combos and synergies. So in that way, it's kind of like a deck building game, right? So I happen to really like deck building, and I happen to really, really like roguelike. So for me, these two things really scratch the itch for me, right? And there's a ton of depth in this game. So I've been really hooked. I've been really playing a lot of the Bazaar. But something that you need to know about deck building and auto battler games is that when everything works out ideally, then it's a great feeling. And obviously, all the players' goals is to build like the synergy and everything perfectly. So, for example, you have like you have a sports space of 10 slots. And then how do you efficiently fill in those 10 slots? That's sort of what you're doing with this game, right? So maybe you want two sized items. Maybe you want one three sized item and you want seven small sized items, like one sized items, right? So in this variation, obviously it's good if you get all the pieces that you're looking for. But again, the thing is, it's random. The choices that you are getting, it's all random. You can't guarantee that you are going to absolutely get the pieces that you need. You might get 9 of the 10 pieces that you need, but you might just lose out because you don't have the 10th one. Also, some combos and some setups are fairly easy to set up. It only requires like, 3 pieces, or it only requires like very commonly seen items. So in that way, it's easy to do. But of course, what's the trade-off of having an easy setup? It's not going to be that powerful in the long game, right? So what you need to do is kind of like over many, many rounds, you need to develop that feeling of, okay, so I'm struggling a little bit right now. So this is the time to invest and like look for more pieces so I can build up to my mid game. Or if my thing is going super well in the early game, then if I get complacent and like, oh, okay, yeah, I got this. And then I keep playing and then like, oh, wait, I thought my pieces were all there, but why am I dying? It's because I didn't scale up for the longer game, right? So what you need to do is constantly refine, perhaps pivot to a complete different strategy when the pieces aren't coming. Like that's when the sunken cost fallacy comes in, right? Oh man, but I'm already like 80% there. I just need one more item, and then what if it never comes out? But you happen to see an immediate option that you can pivot to. So sometimes you have to bite the bullet and then you have to, pivot, right? And then because of the nature of the randomness, you might see the item you were looking for immediately in the next round, and so on. But it's this. The basic premise is, regardless of what items I got from the past, regardless of what items I actually need in the future, this kind of a gameplay really helps you understand the importance of decision making in the right now. So, am I going to make an intentional choice to lean into my luck? Like, I'm gonna rely on luck. I know that realistically I'm gonna lose the next few rounds, but I'm just gonna rely on luck because if I do, the payoff will be good. So in that case, when I lose because of I don't get the pieces, then I need to understand that, yep, but that was in what I had planned for myself. The end goal is, for me, as a Buddhist, is to not be angry, right? So, okay, so I lost. I understand the reason why. It's because I relied on luck. Sometimes I need to pivot. And when I pivot, if I'm like, oh no, but I already spent so much resources to do this, and oh man, what am I gonna do? I could do that, or I could just play the game regardless of how I played it in the past. And there's a lot of life lessons into this, right? In order to be good at pivoting, in order to be good at playing these kinds of games, you have to be really present in the moment and make the best decisions based on what you have right now. And in the short video that I shared today, I talk about, hey, so suppose we play a game of Monopoly, and then I give you some amount of starting money. I don't need to give you the entire history behind why you have this much money, right? Because why? It's not relevant. The point is, you started out with this money and you're maximizing your chances of winning the game of Monopoly. That's the same for everybody. So, how this translates to life is, yep, maybe I didn't have a good childhood, but the thing is, it's the only thing that I have to start. And it's at this moment, I need to be making decisions based on the present moment. And how do I carry myself from this starting point? Because in games, you can concede and start over. But in life, it's a little bit more nuanced than that, right? Of course, you can have the attitude of like, okay, I'm going to relinquish everything and then I'm going to start over. You could do that as a general attitude of life. But the thing is, you can't really exactly be born again and completely forget how to speak, how to walk. You can't really do all of that, right? So the thing is, whether you like it or not, you inherited a lot of things from the past. And right now, the moment you're watching this video, 10 minutes and 50 seconds in, this is the starting point that you get. I'm not arguing that the past is not important. The past is important to understand. But what I'm saying is, in the end, what we have to do is work with the present. But so many times we spend our lives ruminating about the past, thinking about why we don't have the resources that we want right now. I'm not saying understanding that is important and not important. I'm not saying ignore all of the past. I'm not saying just look at the present. That's too extreme. But we oftentimes find ourselves being sad or depressed because of things that happened in the past, being worried and anxious because of things that are going to happen in the future. But it's important to focus on in the moment that we have today. And that is the message that I want to share with you today.